Well, that leads me on to the third aspect of his life, which is his service. And he was incredibly committed to staying in Houghton-le-Spring, wasn't he?
Uh, he was incredibly committed to being rector of Houghton and to serving his parishioners, who he absolutely loved, and I believe they loved him as well. But at the same time, because he had a general license to preach, he was able to travel, as I have said, across the whole of the north of England, preaching the gospel. But he always came back to and was rooted in his parish in Houghton-le-Spring.
The other thing that he's become very well known for is that he, along with his friend, he founded the Kepier School, didn't he?
He did.
In Houghton. I mean, how did he go about doing that, and what would the school have been like at the time he founded it?
It was a complex operation for him to put into effect, because he had to have a building, he had to have money, he had to have teachers, he had to have pupils, and he had to have the authority to do that. But he was very well connected through his uncle Cuthbert. He had connections with the Privy Council, with the Earl of Bedford, Francis Russell, and through that connection he got a royal charter which gave him the authority to set up the school. He raised the funds by constant round of fundraising. There was a chap called John Heath who owned the Kepier Hospital, the land round the Kepier Hospital at Durham, which is where the name comes from, and they organised rents and tithes connected with that to be paid into the fund for the school. And a lady called Marjorie Bellisis, who lived at Morton Grange on the edge of what is now Fence Houses, who has a very interesting bronze in our church showing her 11 children. She was widowed for years, and she came to the church and she was very devout, and she obviously had an interest in education, and she assisted Bernard and Heath in raising funds for the school. If you think about the funds that's going to be needed to create from scratch a brand new school and put all of the equipment and the teachers in place, that is what Bernard did with his friends. They did that, they got the Royal Charter, which is why it was the Royal Kepier Grammar School, and it lasted from about 1560, 1570 to 1920. And Bernard not only did that, he had some of the scholars there boarding in the rectory. He looked after them, he paid for their upkeep, and then when they were older he paid for their fees to go to Oxford and to maintain them at Oxford. So that's another example of his generosity.